The Atlantic Ocean is a graveyard of secrets, a 5-mile deep abyss that covers nearly 20% of the Earth's surface. For 24 centuries, a single name has haunted the maritime imagination: Atlantis. It is described not as a mere city, but as a thalassocracy, an empire of concentric rings, golden temples, and advanced naval technology that allegedly ruled the known world before vanishing into the depths. To the modern skeptic, it is a philosophical myth. To the investigator, it is the greatest cold case in human history. But as our sonar mapping reaches resolutions never before possible, the myth is colliding with geological reality. We are discovering vast submerged plateaus that were once above sea level, massive underwater landslide scars that could have triggered transoceanic tsunamis, and human artifacts found in places where no humans should have been 10,000 years ago. The question is no longer just where Atlantis went, but what kind of planetary catastrophe is capable of deleting an entire civilization from the map. Is the story of Atlantis a garbled memory of a real prehistoric superpower? Are we looking in the wrong ocean, blinded by the very name Plato gave the empire? And most crucially, if a global empire could be erased by the sea once before, what does that mean for our own coastal megalopolises in an era of rising tides? This is not a hunt for a sunken city of gold. It is an investigation into a lost epoch of human history buried beneath the weight of the world's oceans. The origin of the mystery lies in the Timaeus and Critias, dialogues written by the Greek philosopher Plato around 360 BCE. Plato claimed the story was passed down from Solon, a great Greek lawgiver who had traveled to Egypt. There, priests at Sais allegedly showed him temple records detailing an empire that existed 9,000 years before his time, placing the fall of Atlantis at approximately 9,600 BCE. Plato's description was meticulously specific. He spoke of an island larger than Libya and Asia put together, situated beyond the Pillars of Hercules, known today as the Strait of Gibraltar. It was a land of red, white, and black stone, abundant in orichalcum, a mysterious reddish metal second only to gold in value. For centuries, scholars dismissed this as a political allegory. However, the timing Plato provided is no longer a random number. 9,600 BCE aligns almost perfectly with the end of the Younger Dryas, a period of abrupt, violent climate change and massive sea level rise. This was a turning point where the world literally reshaped itself, making the myth of a sinking continent geologically plausible. To understand where an empire might vanish, we must look at the mechanics of catastrophic subsidence. Most researchers focus on the Atlantic Ridge, specifically the Azores Plateau. Oceanographic surveys show that the Azores are the mountain peaks of a submerged landmass. If sea levels were 400 feet lower during the last ice age, this area would have been a sprawling archipelago. However, a more grounded investigation leads us to the Richat structure in Mauritania, often called the Eye of the Sahara. While located on land today, this massive circular formation matches Plato's dimensions for the capital of Atlantis with uncanny precision. Concentric rings of water and land measuring 23.5 kilometers across. Geological data suggest the Sahara was once a green Sahara with massive river systems and inland seas. A catastrophic mega tsunami or the sudden draining of a basin could have washed an empire away, leaving the circular eye as a bleached skeletal remain. The data from sediment cores in the Atlantic reveals that around 11,000 years ago, massive pulses of fresh water entered the ocean, causing sea levels to jump by tens of meters in a geological heartbeat. This is the technical core of the reality. An empire doesn't necessarily have to sink to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. It only needs to lose its coastal infrastructure and agricultural heartlands to a 30-meter rise in sea level to effectively vanish from history. The escalation of the Atlantis mystery reached a crisis point in the 1960s with the excavation of Akrotiri on the island of Thera. Around 1600 BCE, one of the largest volcanic eruptions in human history occurred here. The island literally exploded, triggering tsunamis that decimated the Minoan civilization on Crete, 70 miles to the south. This event created a historical controversy. Many archaeologists argue that the Minoan collapse is the real Atlantis. The Minoans were a naval superpower. They used advanced plumbing, and their culture vanished abruptly. The conflict arises from the timeline. Plato,